We begin tonight in Israel, where the United States' new embassy in Jerusalem has officially opened. Turkey has recalled its ambassadors from the United States and Israel for consultations. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hailed the occasion as, quote, a glorious day on the 70th anniversary of the statehood of Israel. More than 50 people, including children, have been shot by Israeli army as tens of thousands of Palestinians protested the move throughout the entire country. Paula Slier has the latest.
Well, it certainly has been an historic day here in Jerusalem for both Israelis and Palestinians, reversing decades of American foreign policy. We saw around 800 guests in the city for the official opening of the new American embassy. But at the same time, both before the ceremony and during the ceremony, there were violent clashes along the Israel-Gaza border, the worst day of violence in years. The figures we've received from the Gaza Health Ministry are that 52 people were killed and some 2,410 were injured. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, speaking at the ceremony, said that the American President Donald Trump had made history. The Israeli President Rivlin thanked him for keeping his promise, and although the American President was not in the city for the official ceremony, he did send a recorded message in which he said that Israel was a sovereign nation just like any other nation and therefore had the right to recognize its own capital. The president also said that he was fully committed to facilitating peace and extended a hand in friendship to both Israelis and Palestinians. But that hand, of course, has been rejected by Palestinians and by many in the Arab world. Attending the ceremony was a relatively high-level American delegation. It included the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, the Secretary of Treasury, the American president's daughter, Ivanka, and her husband, Jared Kushner, both who are senior White House advisors, and among others, the American ambassador to Israel. At the same time, while we've witnessed in Israel that this reopening of the ceremony here in Jerusalem has delighted most Israelis and be welcomed, there is a significant portion of the Israeli population who are against it. And I spent the day during the ceremony outside reporting from among scuffles between Israelis and police, and those Israelis were protesting against the embassy move. Take a look.
I'm here with a group called All That's Left. We're a group of diaspora Jews against the occupation. We're here because we oppose Trump's embassy move. We think it's playing with the lives of Israelis and Palestinians alike, and our lives in this city is not a game.
What's happening today is illegal and unacceptable, and it's our duty to say no to all of this. East Jerusalem is identified as the Palestinian capital of future Palestine, and today the U.S. Embassy moves and recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. We're here to say no. We're here to say this is unacceptable.
Immediately after we arrived, they attacked us, attacked members of the Knesset, just because we had a paint of the Palestinian flag. And then they attacked us and pushed us to the back. We are here to say that Jerusalem East is occupied territory. It should be the capital of the state of Palestine. And it had never and will never be capital of the state of Israel.
The reason why the protesters are against the Jerusalem embassy move is that they see neighborhoods in East Jerusalem, which are predominantly Arab, as being part of a future Palestinian capital here in Jerusalem. Now, many European countries have also slammed the embassy move. They say that it's not in line with international consensus, and at the same time, there needs to be a final status on Jerusalem before there can be any kind of events like we witnessed with this embassy move. What is interesting is that on Sunday night prior to the embassy ceremony, the Israeli Prime Minister invited all 86 diplomatic missions in the country to an event, and only 33 responded positively. Among them were Guatemala and Paraguay, both who are in line to open their embassies in Jerusalem before the end of this month. There were a number of Eastern European countries, but no Western European countries, which certainly shows some kind of rift happening in the EU itself. The Israeli army has justified its use of live fire by saying, firstly, admitting that it brought in army reinforcements, but also saying that it was repelling repeated border breaches and that it was also hitting Hamas positions. But there has been an international outcry. against what many say is an excessive use of force by the Israelis. At the same time, we are hearing more and more criticism against the United States, with many states saying that America can no longer be an independent and neutral mediator in Israeli-Palestinian peace talks. We're hearing from the Turkish President Erdogan that the Americans have now made themselves part of the problem and not part of the solution.